Done my morning shift, so it's time to go out. Changing dress in 1, 2, 3. Whoop! Yes, let's go. So we're finally here in the port of Valletta, which is the capital of Malta. Behind me actually is a line of restaurants. They're very popular here because there's a yacht on this side, plus my ship over there. And we're gonna slowly walk ourselves to the city of Valletta. Hang on. Stay with me. So, just like any other places here in Europe or the Mediterranean, there are always like taxis waiting for cruise ships, as well as some as well as some horses that will take you around the city. So one of the easiest way to see Malta is to get on one of these hop-on, hop-off buses. They are very popular in any other countries here in Europe as well as the Mediterranean. So I would suggest you riding on one of those buses. Valletta is elevated, so we're here at sea level. We're gonna climb those walls to get a better picture of the whole city. So, but first we have to ride an elevator. So if you want to visit Valletta, either from the cruise ship, I mean, you could either go around those streets there and like zigzagging, and eventually you reach the top. But there's a shortcut for a price of €1, and this is it, Barraka lift. So we're gonna cross and ride the lift. Guys, we're gonna go up using that lift, and then of course before you get to ride that lift you have to pay, and last time I was here it cost like €1. So how much is the €1? All right, you have to pay. Crew members, no discounts? No. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. How do you say thank you in Maltese?
That's just like Italian.
All right. So, thank you in Italian. No, in Maltese is grazie. So, it's time to go up. Woohoo! All right. I don't know how to close. So, am I afraid of heights? No. Crazy, eh? Am I crazy? Yeah. Hello?
Hi guys, I'm Nancy.
So,
I'm with the doctor in Malta.
Alright, so she's gonna go around and then
I'm gonna have gelato.
Gelato, alright. Hope you enjoy, yeah?
Thank you. Okay.
The first bite is mine.
This bite is yours. I don't share my gelato, sorry.
Listen up. Alright, so guys, this is the Augsburger Castle, and it was built for the Grand Masters of Malta way back 1570s. So when Napoleon came in 1798, Napoleon held office in this building here. Right, Nancy?
Yes. I just got the information from the doctor. Doctor's the talker.
Alright, that's the Augsburger Castle. Malta is actually one of the countries or places that I've been to that is very heavily fortified way back in the olden times. So as you can see, even here on top of a mountain, there are still fortresses that are way above. And here to my right is actually the city's museum, where you can find most of the artifacts from the olden days. So if you notice, the steps are very narrow because they said that in the olden times, when the knights are wearing their armor, it's easier for them to run or walk and transfer from one defense wall to another. So we're currently here at the main street, or the main thoroughfare of Malta, Valletta. And I'm just going to show you on this side that there's a bridge that has been built in just a decade ago. So just imagine the walls on this side. This is actually the one facing the land, and right now they're doing another renovations. So it was great before. You see the walls. Right now they just put a tarp, so you can actually see how deep it is. I don't know. So they're doing a major reconstruction at this time. So behind me you can actually see that the fountain of Triton is undergoing some kind of renovation. So it's a shame. So if without this tarp, you could actually see the walls, how high it is, how deep it is. And probably way back in the olden times, these are actually flooded as part of the city's defense. So we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna watch the cannon firing because it's almost 12 noon and we have to make some kind of a little preparation. Bear with me. Heading back to the noonday cannon salute, and you can actually see that here in the main street, there you can find a Burger King and lots of eateries and restaurants. So if you come here, they also have some kind of delicacies and food that I think I would suggest you, you know, getting a taste. So on to my right, it's actually like an opera house. This was destroyed during World War II, during when the Nazis start bombing Malta from the air. And in 1800s, the French surrendered Malta to the British, so it has been occupied by the British until the end of World War II. And if you notice, there's still a touch of British, and actually here it's more like British. Wembley store. So to me it looks like any British design building, but most of the buildings here are of Baroque style, and then neoclassic, and it becomes modern. So yep, and you could actually see some structures here because they do concerts here and some music, drama, something like that before. So I've been here in Malta so many times, and I've been here during the peak season when now it's the end, it's in the middle of October, and the season, the Mediterranean season is ending. So people are getting less, but for me the weather is much better. What I like about Malta is because of the designs of the buildings, the Baroque style, lots of churches, this one here, and again the Augsburger Castle. So if you notice that the buildings and the windows are of French design, and I love it because what happened is that the city actually preserved much of its architecture. So it did sustain a lot of damage during World War II, especially with the opera house out back there, but much of it is still preserved. So you know what, Malta is a very big place. I'm only walking here in the city of Valletta, but out in the distance and to another side is actually the island of Virgo, and I haven't been there despite the fact that I've been here so many times. But then for me it's worth going there, but Either you have to rent a taxi or ride a bus, or best would be to ride a water taxi. That means a motorized canoe that would transport you from Valletta across to the Virgo Island. So we're entering the Upper Barraka Gardens, just past the gate. And if you notice, there are a lot of trees here, architecture, sculptures, very nice to hang out. And there are also like coffee shops on that side there, and a waterfalls. So we're gonna head down and then pay, I don't know, maybe €3 just to watch the noonday cannon salute that they do every day at noon, exactly 12 o'clock. So we're gonna head down to the Lascaris War Rooms down below. How much is the watch? €3. Cost €3. Just making a plug. Is there any discount for crew? You see, I'm very thrifty.
Hello. You can watch the firing at 12.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the firing, right? That's what I'm here for.
Boom.
Boom! Woo! Thank you. Just waiting for the noontime salute, and as you can see, there are a lot of arms here, ranging from different types of cannons way back from the 17th century until the 18th century. We're gonna head into one of these rooms here. Hey! Which way around? Hey! No. It's just a stadium. We're now inside the St. Paul's Bastion, and this is where they held the noontime, the daily noontime Cannon Day salute. So if you notice that most of the tourists are already watching on top, just at the balcony over there, and because this one, they're gonna fire this cannon today in a few minutes. So these are actually like 24-pounder cannons, and I watched it twice before, and wow, it's kaboom! So it's actually, this bastion here is actually guarding the Grand Harbor. So anyone that enters this way gets to have a hell of a gunfire from the cannons from both here in St. Elmo, as well as from the neighboring fortifications of St. Michael and St. Angelo over there. We're gonna fire the cannon soon, so hang on, watch your ears.
Noonday gun! Fire!
Woohoo! We just finished the noonday cannon salute, and we're now walking here along the narrow streets of Valletta. You know what? Valletta was named after Jean de Valette, because this guy, Jean de Valette, was the Grand Master in 1565 when the Ottomans tried to conquer this place. So they were defeated, and Jean de Valette was successful in defending the city against the Ottoman Turks. So here, we're actually now at the center of the city of Valletta, and right here, this is the place where you can actually see the church of St. John Co Cathedral. So I'm not going inside because again we have to pay, but in there you can see the grandiose decorations of the church, and they said that actually you could find inside the wrist of St. John, because accordingly St. John happens to had a shipwreck and actually landed in this place. So also there's a statue of the head, because I think St. John was beheaded during way back in the olden days, and one of them is of the parts inside the church. So we're back at the main thoroughfare of Valletta, and as you can see, it's very lively. So you could see people playing for some Euro, and I would say that Valletta or Malta bears some of the trademarks of any vibrant city here in Europe. So also Valletta or Malta belongs to the European Union. I just want to show you here, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the artist named Caravaggio. So he's the painter of the famous art named Wearing Saint Lucy, as well as the beheading of Saint John. As you can see, the line is long, and I don't know, maybe you have to pay like 20 euro just to watch the painting. So I've been here many times, but I haven't been inside. But I think if you're here in Malta, you need to go inside and appreciate the painting of Caravaggio. So we're almost nearing the end of the city of Valletta. On that side is actually facing the Mediterranean, and that's where the Ottoman Turks landed to conquer St. Elmo, which is a fortress guarding the city of Valletta. And this is actually the square. I forgot the name of the square, but you can see the Maltese flag flying over there. And here, on this building here, it's actually a museum for the armors and guns and other military stuff that were stored here for you to see. So when you visit the city, so this is the, how do you call this, the Armory or Palace Army or something like that. See the guard there? It's guarding this entire place. Anyway, we're heading that way, and then I'm just gonna show you the siege bell. All right? We are now walking through the narrow part and less populated part of the city of Valletta, and you can actually see that much of the architecture here are like preserved. We still have this Baroque design. Look at the windows. It's so typical of the medieval design. Some of it are actually Gothic. But what I appreciate is the window. There is not much trees here in how do you call this, Malta. So I suppose, I assume that way back in the olden days, the trees are like an imported material, commodity, used for windows like this one here. Earlier we were in the Upper Barraka mountain where St. Paul's Bastion is located, and now we are in the Lower Barraka Garden, and you can actually see that there's like a sort of a Greek temple, like a temple of Athena. So where is, folks? That's the siege bell, and the other one, the back, is the unknown soldier. We're going there. We're gonna climb up and show you the siege bell. The bell actually was installed here way back in the 1980s as part of the commemoration for those people, and as a tribute, those people who defended this island from the Nazi invasion. Look at the bell. At first we thought that it was like a wounded soldier being covered by a blanket, but as it turned out, this is actually a dead soldier, and you can see that the face is blinded, it's covered in cloth, and the way they said, like he's about to be thrown into the sea. So this is like a burial of a dead unknown soldier here in Malta. So guys, I just want to show you that These cannons are actually real, and they were buried there as like to serve as like a mooring station for these ships here. And according to the guys who fired the cannons in the Upper Barraka Gardens, they are actually genuine. So you could actually see history here. Folks, I'm heading back to the ship because my nurse is waiting for me. She wants to get out and communicate with her family. So it's going to be like a 30-minute walk for me back to the ship, and I'm going to work later on. So I hope I just featured you some of the most important things to see when you are in Valletta. When you are in Malta as a whole, you could actually see that there's more to it rather than the city of Valletta itself. So I would suggest when you're here, you go farther. There are lots of museums, especially World War II stuff that's located over there in the St. Ilma's fortress. And you could actually go to the neighboring island, Burgo, where Saint Michael as well as Saint Angela's fortresses are located, and there are more things to see there, structures, cathedrals, and everything. The Knights of Malta are actually based there. It was only later in the 15th century that they transferred the capital here in Valletta. So yeah, again, I hope to feature more of the cities I visited. And thank you again for being with me on this video. Until next time. Thank you. Ciao, ciao.